Welcome to Real Rutherford. Real people, real talk, real estate. Coming to you live from Rutherford County, Tennessee.
Hello, Rutherford County, and welcome to this week's edition of Real Rutherford, where we talk about all things Rutherford County. I'm John Turner, and I co-host this with my wife.
Hi, I'm Tracy Turner. Welcome back to Real Rutherford.
We're so glad that y'all joined us. We think we've got a very good podcast for you this week.
Right.
But man, I tell you what, it's hot out there today.
It is very hot today.
Yes.
And I know we kind of think about fall because school's back in session, but it is still summer hot out there and plenty of fun things to do outside. And
You know, I saw a stat. I did not realize this because this summer's been really hot, but I saw a stat that we have not reached 100 degrees yet this summer.
right, temperature-wise.
Temperature. Now, the heat index we have, but the temperature has not reached that, and it's very possible that will happen. We're actually recording this on 8/18, so they're saying either today or tomorrow, the 19th, when this drops, that we may reach 100. But yeah, school's back in session. Football. We've got some football games coming up this week.
We have football.
High school football.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've seen the school buses going through the neighborhoods and up and down the streets. Yeah.
Absolutely. Out on a walk this morning and seeing the buses and the kids out there, and just reminds us that we need to be watchful and mindful of that. Take it easy. Watch out for the buses, and
When a bus stops, if you're in a car, you need to stop.
Absolutely.
I mean, not only is that a law, it's common sense.
I mean, you would think so.
It amazes me how many people get so caught up in their morning and what they need to do and how important they think that their whatever it is they have going on is, that they don't think to stop. And
Right. And whether you're on the same side of the bus or you're on the opposite side, you are supposed to stop. So y'all do that and watch out.
Yeah,
for the kids, whether you have kids or not,
there's no sense in ruining or ending a kid's life, and possibly ruining your life as well, because you're trying to save just a few seconds getting where you're going. It's not that important, y'all.
So be careful out there, please.
But speaking of being out on the roads, always a hot topic around Rutherford County is the roads and traffic, right?
So much traffic.
There's traffic in Rutherford County?
A little bit.
No way.
And now more because school's back in session.
Newsflash there. So, this, as we were preparing for this, we got to thinking back a little bit. Now, of course, I've been here longer than you have been.
You grew up here, yeah.
And it got me thinking about the roads. In one of the podcasts earlier, I alluded to that whenever I lived off Cason Lane, that all my friends thought I lived out in the country. It was real far out. And,
it is not in the country now.
It was, it was really interesting because when I-24 came in, I believe it came in the late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. But the citizens of Murfreesboro did not want the interstate close to town. So that's the reason why I ended up 2 or 3 miles away from town. Okay. Yeah. So to get out to the interstate, going out on Old Fort Parkway or on Church Street, it was very rural going out that way. And of course, things have changed now. But whenever I think about the different roads, I'm trying to remember back the best I can. When you get this age, sometimes it's a little bit harder to remember back there. Yeah. But I can remember, we lived off Church Street. We lived on Volunteer Road, which is the back entrance now to where Barfield Park is. Yep. Right. And going out there, it was a 2-lane road. 2-lane road going across the interstate all the way into town, where South Branch Nursery is now. That used to be Fog Cutters Market. And if we needed just a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread, we'd stop there. But it was a very small market, just a little country market, kind of like we still may see on further out, in between here and Shelbyville, kind of in the Midland area and things like that, where there's a few little smaller markets. But, I remember going to school. I went to Middle Tennessee Christian School, and at that time we lived over off Thompson Lane,
Okay.
and there was no Northfield Boulevard. You had to drive through all the little
Oh,
subdivisions
wow.
and weave your way through because Northfield Boulevard was not there. Rutherford wasn't even thought of because Northfield was before Rutherford.
Mhm.
Um, you know, Medical Center Parkway was Manson Pike, just a little 2-lane road, and where the avenue sits now. I remember as a teenager, um, we used to go take our pickup trucks and go mudding out there in those
Wow.
fields. So a lot has
It's
changed
hard
with
to
the road. So
imagine
we've
now.
come a long ways, but still
Mhm.
we still got some catching up to do. I know we've talked a
Well,
little bit about when you moved to Smyrna.
yeah, bringing it a little more recently. So I moved to Tennessee in 98, but moved here to Smyrna in 2000. Which wow, 25 years ago. Okay. But Sam Ridley Parkway, there was not a hospital, there was not Lowe's, there was not Home Depot. Um,
Was the Kroger there yet?
the Kroger was there.
Okay, they just built the Kroger.
It was there, so I don't know
Okay.
how long it had been there before I moved out here. And the beloved Catfish
Oh,
House
the Catfish
was
House.
still on Sam Ridley, and of course, we know Panera sits there now. So, yeah, I mean, so much has changed.
So there was very little traffic, and now it was a 4-lane
Very, it
road when
was
you
it
moved.
was still four
So,
lane,
and the thought kind of was like, well, why is this 4-lane road here? Because nobody
right? Because
travels
nobody
on.
came to Smyrna, but
Yeah, and now it's a 6-lane road.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we
so
have every restaurant, and again we have the hospital now, and that is a great facility, and we've got our Lowe's and Home Depot, and I mean everything that you could want, um, right here. So
thinking about that time and how the roads have changed, I've got a question for you.
okay.
What is the for you? What is the worst road in Rutherford County? And it could be needs to be paved or whatever, but more so, I'm thinking like too small, needs improvement, needs whatever. What area do you try to avoid when you're traveling Rutherford County?
Wow. Probably the first thing that comes to mind for me is Church Street. I hate Church Street. Sorry for anybody who lives off Church Street, like my mother-in-law. Um, it's just the traffic is ridiculous. I mean, it's a great road, nothing wrong with that, but
I'm not sure
it's
why they have
just
stoplights there because I don't think
oh
a lot
my
of people even follow them out on
goodness,
Church
it is
Street, do they?
so crowded.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I can avoid that, I kind of try to do that. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know, makes me nervous. I feel like everybody drives too fast, and it's just I don't know.
Speaking on the south side of town, one area that I do, oh man, I hate it, especially if I happen to be pulling a trailer or something like that. Um, is Broad Street where it narrows down right before Martin
Ah,
Luther King Jr.,
yes,
where that road gets so narrow and you feel
yes.
like your car's over the line and it's on the sidewalk and it's getting ready to hit
Oh,
the telephone poles. And
yes.
yes, that one's I can't wait for them to improve that one. And
uh,
there are improvements being made. The other one, I think everybody, if they could, would avoid Old Fort Parkway. I mean, Old Fort
yeah,
Parkway
I
is
think so.
just man, there's the bridge over Broad. I didn't know whether it would help or not. It seems
Hmm.
like it's helped
I
quite a
think
bit,
so.
but
I
still,
think so. But
um, and one of the things whenever we're talking about roads and road improvements, you know, we see a lot of comments online
hmm
about people. Well, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And I think for some people, there's not really an understanding of the process and how it works, and I
right.
can't say we understand the whole process, but what we do understand about it is that there are several government municipalities that come into play. For
hmm
instance, Old Fort Parkway, and we're going to talk about the upcoming project on Old Fort Parkway, but Old Fort Parkway, we call it Old Fort Parkway, but it's State Route 96. Yeah, State
96,
Route
right.
96.
hmm
So the state is in charge of doing whatever
Of what
improvements to
happens
that.
there.
Right.
That's right.
Now, the
That's
Murfreesboro
right.
City and Rutherford County technically can petition the state and say, hey,
Right.
look, we need some help here, y'all need to help us, but
Right.
it's ultimately up to the state
That's
on
right.
that.
Yep.
Just like New Salem Highway
hmm
99 is a state route. whenever we start talking about, improvements to I-24, that's a federal route. So the federal
Federal
government,
government
now
is
they may or may not take input from the local municipalities, but the
mhm,
local municipalities do not have full control or really
exactly.
any control over that. So I think that's sometimes a misnomer, and people are like, well, why doesn't the mayor or why doesn't the city council or town council or whatever it is do this? Uh, their hands are tied
Yeah,
a
they
lot
can
of
only do
times.
so much. I
Yeah.
mean, it's yeah, state or federal has to make those decisions ultimately.
It's
So,
kinda like you can't go next door and start making improvements to your neighbor's house. I don't know, maybe they'd like for you
well, I
to
don't
pay
know,
for it,
maybe they would. Oh,
but you don't have the
no.
authority to do that, and that's the way it is with, like Murfreesboro City on the state routes
Right.
or Smyrna or
Mhm.
Laverne, any of them
Yeah.
on those. But there are some upcoming projects that have been talked about, they're in the works. We
Right.
talked about Old
You
Fort a
mentioned
minute
Old
ago.
Fort
Yeah.
Parkway, right?
So what's going on there?
Um, they're gonna widen that,
Really?
which is
Finally,
fantastic.
finally. Getting ready
Fantastic.
to start?
But no, no,
What?
hold up, hold up. 2031.
2031. They're
That's
already 20
how
years
many years?
behind. I think they're already 20 years behind on that. So they're going to be, 25 years
I
behind
know,
before they.
I know.
Oh, man.
But who
Seriously?
knew this area was gonna explode like it did? It's
Yeah.
hard to predict those things, but it's coming. You just gotta wait a little bit longer.
Can you
So,
imagine if we did not have like Medical Center Parkway, which
no.
has taken some of the traffic headed out
Mhm.
on the west side of town away from Old Fort? Oh man,
Yeah.
I couldn't, I wouldn't even be able to think about that. And if I have my understanding of things correct, Medical Center is a city project. And that's the reason
Mhm.
why it was able to get done, if I remember that correctly.
I
Whereas
think
Old
that's
Fort being
correct,
a
right.
state route is a
Mhm.
state project. So,
Right.
okay.
Well, and then another thing that is coming up is the Cherry Lane interchange. So that's going to be from the Siegel soccer fields out to 840.
Okay.
And maybe construction starting next year,
Okay.
which would be great.
So
So,
that's going to pull a lot of the traffic from the north side of town and get it out to 840 where they don't have
hmm
to travel Thompson Lane as much. You
right.
got people coming in for soccer games and things. They'll have more of a
hmm
direct route. Also, along with that, Um, I just read where there was a proposal within I say the city. I feel like it's a state project though, because it would be Highway 231, but they're calling it Memorial Boulevard. But
mm
I'm not really sure what municipalities are in on that. But talking about
Okay.
widening from Thompson Lane,
hmm
right? So Memorial Boulevard from Thompson Lane, so right there in front of the VA,
Right.
and going out to Jefferson Pike, which also would kind of take into account that Cherry Lane, where Cherry Lane runs
hmm
into Memorial. So I think that's in the very early stages, but that is something that appears to be on the radar. So
That's
hopefully there's going
great.
to be some relief over there.
hmm
There's also going to be some more relief because the North Thompson Lane project that um, they've just announced. I say they've announced they're in the process of getting everything together. I think it's actually out for uh, bid. They're getting the right of way
Okay.
purchase, all that stuff. But North Thompson Lane, so it's going to run from the VA past the Siegel schools
Right.
on around past the Thompson Lane trailhead of the Greenway out to Broad
hmm
Street. Long overdue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, long overdue.
Absolutely.
So,
So
but can you imagine what the traffic's going to be like while they're
while they're
constructing that?
working on it, no.
Yeah, because they are looking to. My notes say that they're thinking they'll start in 2026. Estimated completion date to be determined. So,
TBD. So
no telling. My gut tells me that's a probably 3 to 5 year project. So
probably
that's going to
so.
be a
So
mess for a while, but it will be really nice when it's
yes,
finished.
it will. And we're going to need a lot of patience. So let's just
Yes.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So, uh,
One of the now we've had some projects underway or they've been completed. One of them that's pretty much
hmm
finished up, Medical Center Parkway, which
yes,
I mean they built 2 lanes, and I mean as soon as it was built,
right. It needed more.
yes, it
Right.
needed. So it's really nice now that it's 3 lanes. I think it's
Very
completed or
nice.
really close to
I feel
completed.
like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that certainly
much nicer.
alleviated some of the traffic coming from downtown
hmm
out to the interstate. What else is going on, or some that have been completed? Obviously, we got the new Salem from from Memorial. I'm sorry, from Old Fort,
From
New
Old
Salem
Fort,
for Old
right.
Fort,
Hmm.
out now. It's completed out to Cason Lane. So
Right.
you have 5 lanes going out there, which is really nice. That was a huge bottleneck, but they're continuing that, right?
Very nice. Yes. Yeah.
They're going from
Case and
Cason Lane
Lane. Yes.
on out to
To
Veterans Parkway.
veterans.
So,
That's right.
yeah,
That's
so
right. Yeah. And then one of the other things that has just recently been completed, Jefferson Pike from Sam
oh
Ridley out to
yes,
840.
yes,
Beautiful, smooth, perfect pavement. It's lovely. So,
yes. You know, I can remember. We were talking about earlier about roads and driving, and you know, Jefferson Pike reminds me a little bit of early Smyrna, because early Smyrna,
mhm.
um, you knew if you drove through here and you were going over the speed limit, you were going to get a
Oh,
traffic ticket.
absolutely.
We called it the speed
Speed trap
capital of the world. Um,
for sure.
be
But
careful on Jefferson Pike. Do your speed limit. It's such a nice road, and you just
you want to
it's
go fast, but
yes, you
please
do.
don't.
You're headed out towards the speedway. Want to go fast? Yes, be careful out there. They are certainly monitoring your speed. Um, what's another project we've got? What's the next one?
Oh, so the Waldron Road, which we talked a little bit about that last week, because of the new development, the twinning station. So that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, and they're getting ahead on that project, so that's good. Hopefully,
Yes,
they won't be saying things are 20 years overdue, because
right.
they are getting ahead on that. So that's just a few little
Good
things about the
stuff.
roads.
Yeah.
We would love your input. So if you could comment, we want to know what part of Rutherford County you hate driving in the least, or the
The
most.
most.
The most,
Yes.
yes. What is your
What do you
least favorite
avoid?
place? Where do you avoid? Go do everything you can to go around. Please put that in the comments.
Yes.
We would be very interested to know
We
that.
love to hear from you. So,
Yes. Um, okay, so
yeah,
we've got a real estate tip of the day. Is that right?
we do.
Okay.
We do. And it's for sellers today, talking about pricing your home comparatively versus competitively. So,
Okay. So, what has happened in the past in different markets is, as realtors, we call it a comparative market analysis. We
right.
look at it and we'd say, okay, the house down the street,
Mm-hmm.
similar house, it sold for X amount of dollars, so your house should sell for X
Right.
amount.
How do
So,
we
it was
compare
6 months
to
ago, but it did that, and yes, and we would just compare that and kind of look at that. Um, and in some markets, you can do that. In today's market's a lot
right.
more competitive.
Absolutely.
So not only do you have to do a comparative market analysis and say, okay, well, so and so down the street 6 months ago sold for this, it's more important to do a competitive price analysis. And competitive is looking at all your competitors on the market. And
Right.
you look at it like a buyer and say, if I'm a buyer and I'm looking to buy a house
Right.
and I'm looking for the type of house I live in, what other houses would I be looking at?
Right.
Okay.
Who's our competition?
Who's our competition? How do we compare to them? How
Mm-hmm.
does our pricing compare to them? How does our presentation, how does our promotion compare to them? Because it really is a very competitive market now. And I think a lot of times we get so caught up on, well, the one down the street sold for X amount, and we're not looking at the other ones on the market, and seeing what the buyers have to choose out there.
Right.
So as a seller, you want to make sure you're not only comparatively looking at your
Right.
home's value, you need to look at it from a competitive
Competitive. Right.
standpoint
Look
as
at your
well.
competition. So,
Yeah. So, and that will actually lead us into some market stats.
all
So
right.
we've got three things here for you.
What
Do
do
you
we
want to take the
got this
first one?
week? Okay, so let's take a look at our inventory. So the market feels balanced.
Yeah.
We've got about 1,550 homes for sale right now, and that is roughly a 3.3 month supply. Um, so it's still a seller's market, but it's definitely feeling more balanced
Yeah.
than what the numbers might suggest. So
Buyers have more options, and also
they
it
do.
seems like buyers have been a little bit slower to take action.
Yes,
They don't feel the
definitely,
sense of urgency that
definitely.
felt just a few years ago. So
Right.
maybe a little longer for them to take this and make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Something else about the market. Now, this is more on a national level, but it affects us
It
here.
affects us. Yeah,
Yeah, mortgage
absolutely.
rates actually have eased a little bit. The average 30-year fix, and remember, we talk average, you know, you really want to get with a good local lender whenever it comes
Right.
to buying a house. And your rate is going to be dependent upon several things: type of loan you're going with, how much money you're putting down, the term of the loan, your credit score, different things like that.
Absolutely.
So we're just
So,
looking at the national average on the 30-year fixed rate, and it's 6.58%. This is actually down about a 1/4% from just a few weeks ago, and it's over 1% lower than what it was. I don't know if our listeners remember, but in October of 2023, mortgage rates hit like close to 7 3/4.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember
they were real
now.
close to 8%. So it is down. We are trending down. Um, I know everybody would like for them to be lower, but
Absolutely.
I at least like the direction that we're going right
Yes.
now. So
Yes. Hopefully, we'll keep trending that way.
yeah,
So, um, what else do we have? So, um, some pricing pressure um,
yeah.
that is
So basically,
affecting
yeah, yeah, because
our
we've had
market.
1/3 of the homes in Murfreesboro and Smyrna have actually had price reductions. So,
Yes, we have
uh,
definitely been seeing a little bit more of that. So, um, you know, we it's just another reason why we need to do that comparative and competitive, um, pricing and looking at that. It's just it's very important. So,
it is. I mean, again, buyers have more choices now.
yes,
Things are selling.
they are
Uh,
selling
um,
absolutely, but yeah, with more choices, it's just you know,
yeah, you just got to be competitive out there if you're a seller. So, all right, one of our favorite segments of this podcast is our community events.
yes.
Um, I'm going to let you take the first one because
Yes.
this goes on our calendar. I don't know when you put this on the calendar every year, but it
Oh,
goes on early.
yes, first thing. The Wilson County Fair, also known as the Tennessee State
Now,
Fair
I
now.
thought we were only doing Rutherford County stuff here.
Wow, but so many people from Rutherford County and all around the area attend the fair. It's just it's fantastic. Of course, we know that's over in Lebanon, um, and it actually started on the 14th and it runs through the 23rd. Um, you know,
There's stuff to do, but tell me what your favorite stuff to do is
Oh man, I love to see the rabbits and the chickens and the ducks and I know it's so strange, but it stems from my childhood and going to the county fair with my grandmother. I love to look at the quilts and the cakes and the pies and all of those exhibits, and it's just so much fun. And they've got entertainment out there. um they've got contests, the pig calling. That's always
do they have anything deep
a
fried?
favorite. Oh yes, we have anything deep fried you want. Oreos are my favorite. um and we always have to take a walk around and look at all the food vendors, and then we decide, okay, what is going to be our fair food for this year. So
Now,
it's a great
they
time.
also have
And
games and of course rides. The kids,
oh
well, I say the
yes,
kids and big kids too, love all the rides.
absolutely. So it's a great time. So
Need to get out there. It's this week. It runs through this weekend. So
that's
um,
right. Yeah,
make
through the
sure. You,
23rd.
yeah.
So
So make sure you get out there and enjoy that. Also in Murfreesboro, we had the NBHA Music City Super Show.
okay.
Now you may be asked, what is the NBHA? The NBHA is the National Barrel Horse Association. I believe
Okay.
that Lisa Yoder, who is our assistant, our marketing director, really,
Yes.
um, she barrel
She
races.
does.
Yes.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yeah.
yeah. So that is
She's
August
amazing.
29th through the 31st. It's out at Tennessee Miller Coliseum off of Thompson Lane. On Friday, I believe everything starts at 3 o'clock, and on Saturday and Sunday at 9
9
a.m.
a.m. All
But it should be
right.
a fun time to go out there and
It's
watch those
amazing to
athletes. And
watch
whenever I
that.
say athletes, I'm talking about
Wow.
the horses and the
And the
riders.
rider,
Yeah.
yes. It's incredible. So, also coming up on the 23rd, we've got MTSU Athletics Fan Day. That's going to be at Floyd Stadium, and it's a free event. So it's just a good time to get out and kind of kick off the college athletic season. So, you may want to check that out.
Yeah, so they'll not only will they have Lightning's locker room open where you can buy some things, um, they also will have yard signs if you want to take those home. You
Great.
also can tour the Smith Athletic Performance Center. This thing is phenomenal.
That's the new, yes,
Yes, it's
the new
got
center.
the weight room.
State of the art.
Yeah, so you can tour that.
Very cool.
One other thing that they've added, which is really neat, is um, you're going to be able to watch the movie Little Giants on the video board. So after Fan
Oh,
Day,
wow.
so
Okay.
Fan Day's over at 7 and begin at 7:15. You're going to be able to go out on the field and
Bring your
sit there,
blanket.
yeah,
Yeah.
and watch that. Now they do say don't bring any chairs, tents, nut products, sunflower seeds because those are not good for the turf. But bring
Exactly.
your blanket,
We want
whatever. Let the kids run around on the field. It'll be a really good time there. So,
very good. All
um,
right.
I-
Oh,
yeah, my turn.
oh, your turn. Okay, that's right. Sorry. I'm like,
Greenhouse Ministries has their Live in the Borough on August 26th. Now, this is at the MTSU Student Union Ballroom.
okay.
If you're not familiar, first of all, if you're not familiar with Greenhouse Ministries, you need to
You
get
need
familiar
to
with that.
be.
Cliff, Jane, Christy, their staff, they do a wonderful job of taking care of some of the underserved in our community. They really try to um, target those who are trying to help themselves, but just
Yes.
need a little bit of help.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you on this podcast here in a few weeks, we will be raising money for them to help provide Thanksgiving meals for people.
Yes.
We did that last year, and we want to continue that. So
And
go
I
ahead and
don't
get
know
prepared for that.
if we actually updated everybody from last year, but how much did we how much did we raise from support from the community?
Oh, you
Was it
put me. So I think it's $10,000. Yeah,
$10,000?
yeah, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, which went directly to buy turkeys
Yes.
for people so they could have a nice Thanksgiving meal.
Yes, for
And yeah,
hundreds of families in our community. So yeah, great
yeah, we'll
organization.
do. But their Live in the Borough is where um, people from the community that get to go out there on stage and play, and they get voted on, and it's a pretty fun event.
Yeah, it's very
We've gone
fun.
to it before and certainly enjoyed that. But to support that ministry they do such great things. I encourage everybody to support
It
them.
it is great. So, um, we also have this. It's a busy weekend
Yes.
coming up. Um, on the 23rd, 7 p.m. We've got Hallowed Ground, which is a lantern tour of the Stones River National Cemetery in Murfreesboro. So you'll take a walk through there. A park ranger is going to guide you through those Civil War era gravestones and share some stories. So just a really interesting event. Reservations are required.
Yes.
Um,
You need to
so
you
you
need to
need
do that
to
right now if you're
absolutely,
listening.
yes.
That fills up quick.
It absolutely does. So, and they would like to remind you no strollers or pets. But sounds like a very interesting evening. So,
Yep. It's
check
I
that
actually
out.
did that once. It's been several years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I
It
know.
was really really neat. But Stones River Battlefield's right there, right in the middle of everything, right off
Hmm.
Thompson Lane and Medical Center Parkway. And I mean, it played such a huge role in the foundation of this community. And sometimes we just drive past it and just kind
Right.
of forget that it's there.
It's a
Yeah.
treasure.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. So
We want to bring up one event that we mentioned last week because it's happening this weekend.
that's right.
But the Howl at the Moon 5K, it's coming up this Friday, the 22nd.
Hmm.
Friday is the 22nd, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
And
so.
it
8
starts at
p.m.
8 p.m. It's at Veterans Memorial Park in Laverne. It's a 5K, but it should be a fun evening. So you can, a lot of times people think of 5Ks, they think of it's a race, you got to run, you got to do whatever. No, you can walk it as well. It's just a
Absolutely.
good way to go out and see people and support your community. So that's what we got for community events. Now, I would
Okay.
like to remind you that if you've got something you'd like for us to announce on air, a community event, we'd be more than happy to do that. Just
Absolutely.
please
Yes.
please get it to us. I would say right now, and we need to get an email set up for this podcast, but right now I'd say just send it to John, John, at turnervictory.com. Send us your event. Make sure we get it a couple weeks in advance, and we'll be more than happy to announce it here and hopefully get you a little more publicity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's
great.
That's what I've got for this week. Be safe on the roads. We talked about that with school being in session, and some of the roads we're not really fond of, and some of the construction going on. So please be safe out there.
And I think that's what we've got, and we'll see you next week. So until then, keep it real, Rutherford.
Real Rutherford is a production of the Turner Victory Team at Onward Real Estate. License number 276665. Please check us out at turnervictory.com.